Surprise, surprise, it is Monday again. It is the beginning of the week and I am already done. Yeah, I had I don't know, I'm starting to get the Monday hate. I always used to be a person who was like, I don't get why people hate Mondays. I'm totally fine with it. And yeah, I don't know. For, I would say a couple of years now, but ever since COVID, I think once COVID was over, but ever since the world has turned crazy, I'm hating Mondays. I get it now. I don't know why, but I get it now. Yeah. So, um, I'm a little bit scrambled. I was just outside with the dog, took a nice walk. It's shit weather outside, but sometimes a little bit of fresh air is quite nice. I started reading Dennis Lien, Gone Baby Gone, and I am loving it. I don't know why I remember the last one being pretty average, but I'm really, really loving this. I like the both of the detectives, which they are now a couple, which in the last one they weren't a couple, but they were kind of budding up. As far as I remember. So yeah, obviously I do think there's one book in between the last one that I read and this one. But yeah, they are now a couple. They live together, they do the detective thing together, and they talk about, I think that must have been in the book I didn't read. They were a really, really bad case, and both of them are oh, we would like to take some, not so horrible cases, and then a child gets kidnapped, and turns out the mother wasn't at home and left the door open, and the mother is kind of a deadbeat mom who has a drug problem and all of that. So there's a lot of contention, and yeah, I think Dennis Lien really hits it on the head with the more hopeless characters, if you can say it like that. I think that this description of them, the mom is not actively horrible, but she's just so done with life, kind of, that it's really hard for her to care about anything, and then the drugs have done the rest. So it's a little bit of that, but our main characters care, and her sister-in-law really cares, and so they are on search for the girl. And yeah, I'm already 130 pages in. I'm really enjoying the read, I have to say it. I think that's the most I've read in a day, which I'm really happy about. I really thought this would be a thriller, but a really average thriller, and I can't really tell you much how this is different. But I feel the Dennis Lien really, really does the characters justice, and I think that is what is speaking to me right now. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this. We'll see how it will continue, because they are now on the trace of the girl, but obviously we have 2/3 of the book still left. So yeah, I think it will be really, really dark before it gets better. But yeah, I really like it. I'm really happy with that. Then let's talk about the knitting and crocheting. I don't know if I showed you, but no, I think I finished this yesterday, but I finished the first sleeve. It's looking like this so far, and then I have started the next one, but I'm not super duper far. So far I have only done one of the swirl panels, and yeah, I need to continue with that. But I have to say, I was really desperate for a finished thing, so I did a pattern test for this leaf branch pattern. I don't know what you would call this, but it's pretty much just a stem with some leaves on it. And I have I'm on Pinterest a lot nowadays, and I'm searching for patterns that I might want to put on a self-designed thing, and I had an idea for a really dark green cardigan, and then having this leaf pattern go down the middle of the sleeves as a really simple touch to a otherwise more bland cardigan, to give it a little bit of interest, but keeping it simple. And so I found this on Pinterest, and I decided to try it out. Obviously it needs to be blocked because it's scrunching up because of the pattern right now. But yeah, I really like it. I think I'm holding it the wrong way around. Yeah, now it's the right way around. Yeah, so I really like it, and this was like a quick finish and a quick try out, and I wrote the pattern down so I can't lose it. That was a really nice finish for like just today. Just a small quick thing, and now I will get back to do the second sleeve. So hopefully I can finish that this week and then get on to the ribbing and maybe finish the cardigan next week, which would be nice. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, I have a quick addition. I know I'm late to everything, always, forever, but I just watched Barbie for the first time, and I have to say, I haven't managed to finish a film in pretty much 2 years. Because, I don't know, I just was in a really, really big funk when it comes to watching movies, and I've never watched Barbie before. And oh my god, how good is that movie? I mean, I know that everybody told me it was good, but it's the first movie that I really enjoyed watching in so long. Like, except for movies that I rewatched that I liked anyway. And oh my god, the fighting scene in the end, it's just amazing. I love that movie so much. I mean, I never talk about movies and stuff on here because I just do not watch a lot of movies, which I would love to. I used to exclusively watch movies all day, every day. And I stopped for some reason. And yeah, I got myself a Letterboxd account. And I think I will try and get back into watching all of the movies. Hopefully all of the good ones. But yeah, oh my god, that was a good movie. Man, that was a good ending to this day because it's late now, but like I wanted to update you on that. Okay, I have done something I haven't done in a long time, and I'm really happy about it. I finished this. I read 280 pages today, which like that is a long time ago that I read so many pages on one day and enjoyed it so much. I gave this book 4.5 stars. I think it's a really, really good thriller. I think you should read it. There was one plot twist I actually didn't see coming. It's a kind of plot twist. I didn't see it coming, which was super good. I love not seeing them coming. I might just be dumb. I'm like blind to that. But yeah, I really, really like this book. I think it has its flaws in some parts. Like there were parts in it where things were happening so quick that I felt like it was a little bit like too much at once and a little bit on the like outlandish side. But like other than that, I think I really like this. I like the characters. I really like the characters in it. And I did like where the story was going. It's a lot about morality and doing the right or the wrong thing. And, you know, because our main characters aren't cops, they are detectives. They obviously like aren't like hired as cops, so they can skirt the law a little bit, which is a big part of this book with it, which I think makes it really interesting. It's a little bit reminiscent of like Bones, who's like throwing caution to the wind again and again and again, and our main characters are kind of like that, but in a more mature and angry way. But yeah, I really liked the main characters. I'm so sure that I gave the first one, the first book I read of these, a not so great rating. I need to look it up. I'm gonna put it on screen here what I gave the first one. But yeah, I don't know if I will continue the series because I'm afraid that it will get boring. Because I feel like with like thrillery series, it like I don't love reading about the same characters again and again and again, no matter how great the characters are. So I think I'm gonna be content with reading the 2 books that I read of the series. But if you want a good detective thriller, where, you know, the main character is kind of skirting the law and the cases are really interesting, this one has to do a lot with drugs, kidnapping, this whole like network of like bad people in like different parts of being bad, and it's kind of a trigger warning, but like there's a lot of like child abuse involved in the book. So, you know, if you don't like that, maybe like this could be a little bit hard at points. But I think it's a really, really good thriller. I actually am super positively surprised and I love it. And yeah, I had a great time reading this. I spent like every minute I had this afternoon. I mean, it's not too late. I think it's 3 o'clock. I finished work a little bit after 12 and then I just read, which is why I finished it. I mean, I did read a little bit more yesterday after I watched the Barbie movie. I did go back and read a little bit more. So I didn't quite read 280 pages. But yeah, I read the rest today. And yeah, I'm super happy. And I think this is the fastest I've read a book in a long time. With like so much like glee, you know, because the other books I read fast because I wasn't enjoying them. So, you know, I kind of ran through them to be at the end quicker. But with this one, I just couldn't put it down. I found it to be really, really interesting. I like the way Leanne tackles his stories. I think that is what I also really liked with Shutter Island. So yeah, go for this one and Shutter Island because Shutter Island is amazing. I haven't watched the movie. I do really need to do that, but I don't know if I will enjoy the movie, to be totally honest. But yeah, Shutter Island was great. This one is also great. I don't know if I would actually recommend the first one because I remember it being a lot more boring. So this might be like a case to case basis if the books are great or not, depending on whether you love the case or not. But yeah, this one, chef's kiss, it's amazing. I'm so happy that I already read and finished it. So yeah, I will pick a new book tomorrow from the TBR, you know, that is in the shelf there. And I will spend the rest of the day crocheting now. I did manage to get halfway through the second sleeve. So I'm like slightly over halfway. I'm at the second row of swirls now. So yeah, I will continue with that now. And yeah, I have a little bit of like life admin stuff I need to do, finances, all of that, you know, the adulting that one needs to do every now and again. And yeah, I need to do that. And yeah, probably not going to do much else today, to be honest. And yeah, I will see you tomorrow once I pick the book and read a little bit, which, you know, is gonna be a little bit slower than this book, but you never know. It is Friday now. I'm so sorry. I haven't checked in with you for what, 2 days now? 3 days? Work has been a lot this week, and most of the days I was so exhausted mentally after work that I just didn't read anything. So yeah, I do have a little bit of a reading update, but it's really not much. I started this book, which let me tell you, I love this this cover. This is An Academy for Liars by Alexis Henderson. I'm not super far in. I'm just 50 pages in, so not super duper far, you know, as you can tell. But I'm already, I don't know, I want to like the book and I like the beginning, but I'm afraid of what is to come in terms of where the book will be going. I don't know anything about this book other than what I've read so far, and what I've read so far is our main character, Lennon. She is at her own engagement party to Wyatt. And she is in the bathroom and she's kind of already at the point where she's like, she doesn't really want to do that. Like, she feels like her life is like, has gone wrong. And she is like, not really housebound, but she's like stuck at home because of her mental health. She has some kind of problems that Wyatt and her family seem to like talk her into, that she shouldn't be doing a lot of things. So she stopped her studying and she's home mostly. And she feels wrong. She doesn't really want to marry Wyatt. We don't really get all too many information. But yeah, so she's at the party, and when she's in the bathroom, she sees her, like, her reflection behave weirdly. And so she's kind of a panic attack, and then she goes back to the party and she finds Wyatt with his best friend in the bedroom. And instead of doing anything like rash or even telling them that she's seen them, she goes to the car and just drives. Which, to be honest, I get that reaction. And she comes out at the mall and she decides that she doesn't want to live anymore. And she has some pills that she wants to end her life with. And instead, she gets a phone call on like a payphone, and they are like, "Yeah, can you come to your interview tomorrow at Dryment, I think, Institute?" And she's like, I don't have an interview. I don't even know who you are. And they're like, no, you have an interview. Your application started at birth. Please come. And so that's what she does. And we are there now. She has successfully made it through the interview. It was really interesting. It has to do with like, what is the name for it? Just forcing somebody to do something through your mind. It felt a little bit like Beyond Two Souls, if you've played that game. A little bit like that. And yeah, that has been the intro, so she can do that. And she then had some seizures and was in the infirmary. And yeah, now she is kind of getting the runaround of the school, and that is where I stopped reading for today. Because I'm really exhausted mentally from work. It's the crunch before like a release at work for me, so it's a lot of work. And so yeah, that is kind of where I'm at right now. The thing is, her test was to make somebody do something, and she had Dante as her partner. And we already have those descriptions of like, oh, he's handsome and stuff like that. So there's a lot of like judging the appearance of people, which it kind of makes sense in like these like dark academia settings. I want to know how the people look, but I feel like we already have this weird undertone of like, oh, that person's handsome, and if he isn't so skinny, he would be handsome. Those undertones. So yeah, I'm slightly afraid that we'll go into the like enemies to lovers kind of a thing. But I don't know. Hopefully not, because then this book has a good chance to be the first dark academia book that I will like. But yeah, obviously there's a lot of pages for it to go wrong still. So yeah, that is the book I will continue with tomorrow, probably. Maybe a little bit today, but most likely tomorrow. And then I took my crochet project apart. I finished the sewing together, like I finished the second sleeve, sewed it together, and didn't like it at all. The yarn just wasn't the right thing for the project. I didn't like how it fit. The arms were too small in my opinion. So yeah, I was just really unhappy with the project. And I think one thing I've learned through making clothes by hand is if you at some point feel like, no, you're not happy with this at all, stop. So I stopped. I took it apart. So I now have a lot of these small little things. And I already started a new project with the yarn, which is the project I should have done in the first place, which is the same jacket that, like the black cardigan that I'm wearing all the time, who doesn't really sit well, doesn't really look well, but is the most comfortable thing I have in my wardrobe. Like, I love it, and I still wanted to do a cardigan, but I know that I love this yarn knitted. So I've decided, you know what, I should have done a knit project instead of a crochet project, because I knew I would love the texture and the feel of it once I knit it up. So yeah, that is how far I am. This is pretty much the back collar of the cardigan. And yeah, I'm working on this one now. That is what I probably will be doing quite a bit today, because obviously now that I have to start from the beginning again, yeah, it will take some time to get a cardigan together, but I really want to have another black cardigan that looks a little bit nicer than the one that I'm wearing all the time. So yeah, that was an adventure, but I'm feeling really good with my decision to take apart the cardigan, the crocheted one. I also already have a yarn in mind, which I want to use to make that crochet cardigan that will be way flowier and look way better, but I'm not buying any yarn at the moment, so I will have to do that in a couple of months. So we'll see about that. What else did you miss? I ordered some books, which I'm really excited for probably, like, hopefully they will come next week, but I don't know yet. But yeah, I ordered some used books. Two or three of them are books in a series that I already started, where I do need to read the first one because they are second books in series. Then I ordered me one knitting book because I do want to get a couple of like knitting basic books. The one that I ordered now is like different knitting and crochet stitches and patterns, which is something, you know, when I want to design my own designs, is pretty good to know. And then I ordered myself a short story collection from Stephen King, one that I don't own yet. So yeah, I'm really excited for the books to come. So yeah, I think that is kind of all that happened the last couple of days, and hopefully we will go on a little bit less stressed, hopefully. But yeah, who knows? At least it's the weekend now. This video has been really chaotic. This week has been really chaotic. I'm sorry that it seems like I never moved from this place. I do. Just not this week, seemingly. I have a reading update. Though not the book I started yesterday, which... not because I don't like it. I just haven't gotten around to read more of it because I had to start another book. And that is this one, which is an incredibly pretty book. But this is Slow Gods by Claire North. And this is the book from the current... what is the name of the book? This is the dust jacket of the book. This is the Starbright exclusive by Illumicrate, and it came yesterday. And this is the book that will decide whether I will continue to get the Starbright box or not. So I've decided, because it came in yesterday evening, that I will read it directly, just so I can cancel my subscription or keep the subscription. But I want to kind of know, you know, pretty like early on. And what I think is kind of funny is I talked to my partner about it and I said like, yeah, now it's the month I need to decide, because I didn't like the other Starbright books. And obviously if I just continue not liking them, there's really no sense in paying for it. And then this book came. And I'm really liking it so far. So yeah, it's kind of ironic. But it has a saying, we are the unforgivables. And this book is kind of a really dystopian sci-fi so far, where humanity has gone all over the stars. And they're kind of in like different, not species as far as I can tell, they are still human, but they work differently in their societies. And the society our main character is from is the Shine, and in the Shine only what you work contributes to society, and everybody else is kind of fucked. So ill people, old people just kind of starve. They don't care for them. And the society is built like a corporation. And when you are born, you start with debt for your birth, and then you kind of accrue debt from there, and your whole goal in life is to work the debt off, which is nearly impossible. So like, it's a really dystopian society. And then there is the Slow Gods come in, and they make the prophecy that there are two stars who are on a way to collide, and that event will burn up the world our character is currently living on. And obviously that is kind of bad in a society where everybody is supposed to be a dumb worker drone, pretty much. So the scientists who are like, oh, there is a problem, they kind of all get kidnapped and killed. And so the society isn't really prepared. And then at some point riots break out, and our main character is a collateral in that. He is pretty much just in his home, and he goes onto the street because the home gets bombed, because the corporation is kind of trying to stem the riot, and he gets taken into custody as an accessory to the riot. even though he didn't do anything. And he gets sold into slavery and is supposed to become a pilot. And piloting works kind of like Tchaikovsky's, what is the name of it's The Eyes of the Void, the Architect series. It's kind of similar to that one, where you have this unspace, where it's not called unspace, but that is what I have in mind because of Tchaikovsky. But it's kind of where you have this dark matter space where there is some kind of being in there that it's making, like, it's really creepy and scary, pretty much. And to make pilots, the society our main character lives in, they kind of break the minds of the people, and then they can use them for like a couple of flights, and then they just die. And so that is what our character is supposed to become. And it kind of fails, but they still put him into a pilot seat. And when he comes out at the point where, like, the ship comes out, it doesn't come out at the point where it's supposed to go. It comes out near another of the human planets. And everybody is dead on board except for our main character. He died and is alive again. And so that seems to be a motto. Like, our main character at this point is, when he dies, he kind of is alive again. We haven't seen a scenario of that yet, but we do know that. And so we have a little bit of like time jumps, and it is now 100 years later, roughly, I think. And our main character still works as a pilot because he can now survive the trips and doesn't get mad, kind of. But he also lives in isolation on this human planet, and he kind of works for them now, and in exchange for a simple life with a garden and kind of peace, except for when he needs to fly for them. And so that is how far we are. And it's now going to like evacuate planets where like the supernova will come and eradicate the planets. And it is described as like the story of how our main character is not the hero, and he really isn't. He is kind of, at the beginning, he's kind of described as if he's slow, so he might just be not the most intelligent person. And yeah, he's kind of a weird main character, and he's really not a hero type, and he has his own motivations, and well, some things he just doesn't care about. And yeah, it's really interesting. And then in between the chapters we have sort of like explanations of how the world works, and kind of just like if you would have a manual that explains to you how things work, which I personally really like in sci-fi. So yeah, so far I really enjoy this, which obviously I'm happy about that I enjoy the book, but it doesn't make the decision easier if I want to keep the box or not, because I didn't like the ones up till now. And now I have one that I really like so far. Obviously that can change, but I don't really foresee it changing. So yeah, if I like it, do I keep the box and hope that it will continue to go this route? Maybe I give it another month. I don't know. We'll need to see. I don't really know. But yeah, that is why I'm reading this now. I'm 75 pages in. That is what I've read today. And yeah, it is so pretty. I just really like the design of this. And that is how our main character is looking. So yeah, it's a super pretty design. But yeah, that is what I'm reading now. I will finish that one, and then I will go back to the other book, just because I think it's really important to read that to make up my mind about the box. Because obviously that costs money, even though it's just 1 1/4. So, you know, it's only every 3 months that I pay for the box and get a box. But I think it's important to, you know, make those decisions in like, you know, a sensible amount of time. So that is kind of it for today. Other than that, I'm knitting my cardigan, which I'm knitting the same cardigan I'm currently wearing, just in a more, in like a better version, because this one came out really wrong. So I'm doing it again, but with the yarn that I crocheted the piece in. And so far it's working out really nice. It feels wonderful. It falls really, really nicely. So yeah, this yarn just doesn't really work for crochet. It just really seems to work for knitting. So I'm continuing on my knitting project, and I'm also watching a live stream from a German streamer who does like a charity stream each year. It's called Friendly Fire, and that is what I'm watching today, because it's on today for the rest of the day, till like probably midnight or something like that. So yeah, that is the plan for today. I'm really sorry that this vlog has been kind of weird. The week was really draining on me. But yeah, hopefully next week we get a little bit of more from the regular vlog, hopefully. And yeah, I hope you still enjoyed this week's reading. Yeah, if you've read anything good, please leave it down below. I hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully I will see you on the next one. Bye!